Are you sick of nagging injuries that keep you off the mat? Wondering if shot knees, walking around with a limp, and not being able to shoulder check is just part of the game? As a lifelong Jiu Jitsu practitioner and a coach, I've suffered my fair share of injuries, and I've discovered the simple, effective strategies that have kept me injury-free for over the last few years now. In this video, I'm going to reveal the key principles and the mindset shifts that'll help you avoid injury so that you can get back on the mats, pain-free, and stay there long-term without hours in the gym, complex routines, and having to learn all the crazy stuff that I have to learn, like about fascia and all that sort of stuff. So we'll focus on two main areas to build the joint resilience through strength at the critical ranges and to enhance that rotational stability. Plus, I'll share my quick routine that you can do in less than 10 minutes twice a week, and I'll just keep those main joints that we keep hurting in Jiu Jitsu nice and safe. I'll break down all of the exercises that I've relied on for years now. Grab the free guide and the link down below there. I used to think that injury was just part of the game. I'd limp around after rolling, feel sore the next day, and I just thought that you had to accept it. I actually thought that if you were going to get to purple belt in Jiu Jitsu, having like a serious injury like an ACL tear or a shoulder dislocation was actually just part of like that, purple brown belt of Jiu Jitsu. Super frustrating. And one day I was training at the gym doing some rolls after lunch class, and I just stepped back and my knee completely popped out. The patella was like right off the side, and I just remember thinking to myself, fuck, what now? I went and saw doctors. Obviously everybody recommended surgery, and the thought of just being sidelined for ages was completely devastating. Before I actually booked in the surgery though, I wanted to get a second opinion. So on the sunny coast, there's a really good dude that knows all about knees. So I went and saw him, and he took one look at my scans and he was like, bro, how much pain are you in? Because that knee of yours is absolutely riddled with Jiu Jitsu. We can operate on it, and I'll do that for you if you want, but it's probably not gonna work. If you can avoid surgery, even though we'd recommend it, it's probably in your best interests. So I weighed it up in my head and I was like, I'm just gonna have to try and do this myself. So I went down the track of like looking into diets from like medical medium, Ben Patrick knees over toes, and doing all that sort of stuff because I wanted my body and my joints to last into my 70s and 80s. What really stood out to me was two things. You need strength at the end range of movement, and you need rotational stability. So from those small joints and ligaments and the fascia that connects the muscles and all those little things together. And understanding that is how you can like minimize your time into the gym, get back on the mats. And let's break it down. I used to think that just doing more rolling, getting back in and more technique was going to be enough. I mean, as a qualified personal trainer, if I felt like I needed to add in a little bit more, some squats or whatever, that's what I'd do. But think about it, a deep squat isn't even going to give you the strength that you'll need to forward shift somebody that's big and strong out of like a closed butterfly guard. Even if you think about like arm bars, more movement in the shoulder is going to be better than bigger biceps. So how do you develop that strength at the end range of motion without turning your whole routine into a mobility routine? Yeah, so point two is we also need our rotational stability. So Jiu Jitsu is about this twisting, turning, sweeps, escapes, and all of the rotational stuff on your legs and your core. If your core's weak and your joints are unstable, your neck, shoulders, and knees are going to be super susceptible. And a few good rib injuries pointed that out to me a few years ago. So that core strength, I don't mean pack strength, I mean like that bracing. But yeah, strengthening up that fascia and that real core stability. If you can fit these into your routine quite easily without adding tons of extra time. So the simple routine I come up with after trying all of these different programs and working with different guys, I found that there's just a few moves that I stick to, and I do them twice a week, takes me about 10 minutes each time, have made like a huge difference, and I'll drop a link for that below again. But these exercises are quick, effective, easy to add to your existing routine. Like even if you love going to the gym, you can easily add them in, and like just kept me injury free for like years now. It's like absolutely swear by them. The reason I've kept it short is because consistency is everything. Spending a few minutes, a few times a week is going to actually progress you and keep you safe. If you get like this massive routine, it's great, but most of the time you won't do it, or you'll do it every other week and it's not enough. So it'd be great if there's a simple routine that you could easily do and that's where I come in, and I've got a link below. Last point that I'd like to make is it's simple, practical, and it's the approach that I use. If you want to add more things and if you want more ideas around that, I can point you in the right direction, hit us up. But just to get started, if there's stuff with your neck, your shoulders, your knees, your hips, or your extremities like your feet and your knees, definitely check that one out. It's nice and simple, and obviously it's free. Just